Hi and welcome to my playhouse and to the creepy basement. I have a weird problem that I want to show you here, and it's not what you think it is. I had these 4 batteries here. They were delivered to me by TimeUSB for me to do a review. The deal with the company was that they would get one video of me reviewing these batteries, and that was the deal. So that was 1.5 years ago. Oh, and here's another problem. Over here in the corner, I'm starting to heat up my workshop, or my basement. It's gonna make warm air in a little bit. This product was delivered by Vivo for free for me to review. That was about a year ago. Yeah, my problem is I don't do review of products that I'm not gonna be using. So what do I do? Oh, it's gonna be lovely. It's gonna be good. 1 year later and 1.5 years later, do I keep telling you in every video that this product was delivered for a review video? Or how do one do that? It's kind of weird. So this video is not actually sponsored, but it does include sponsored products which was delivered years ago. So yeah, I have a little bit of an issue with that. I don't know when I can say that these things are actually mine, and I don't have to tell you that that I got them for a review. But in the meanwhile, I do believe that we're gonna tell the Vivo diesel heater to be more quiet. If I can figure this out. Yeah, we're gonna put it to the lowest setting. Okay, apparently it needs to heat up first, and then it will. Okay, it is starting to make less noise now, so yeah, more manageable. Oh, diesel cap. I just filled it up. Ah, come on. And 1 year later, I'm still very happy with that diesel heater from Vivo, even though they're not sponsoring this video. But yeah, it's very nice to have some heat in the basement when I'm playing down here. And yeah, you can't feel this, but it's very nice. As I said, this video is actually going to be about using these 4 batteries from TimeUSB. And 2 of them we have already had in other videos. These 2 batteries are brought into the bunker and have been using in the bunker. At the moment they're completely depleted because, well, even though I have solar power coming into the bunker, it seems that the solar charger in there uses quite a bit of power. So when there's not a lot of solar coming in, the solar charge controller needs power to operate, and it depletes the batteries, which does that these lithium iron phosphate battery, they protect themselves and they switch off, which means that the solar charge controller switches off, which means that when the sun really comes up again and is bright and powerful, nothing happens. The solar charge controller is off and the batteries are off, and all of that power just goes nowhere. So bit of an issue there. So I brought them out of the bunker and into the basement because I want to take these 4 batteries and put them in series and add them to my house powering system. But in this video I'm just going to be playing around with a battery equalizer, because I know these 2 batteries are completely depleted and these 2 batteries are brand new and has never been used. So I thought that would be interesting. When you have 4 batteries like this and you put them in series, you cannot be sure that they are charged up equally. So you might run into that this battery had a little bit of an issue, so it doesn't charge up nearly as quickly as the 3 others. And that does that when everything is charging up, the other batteries will reach 100%, and this one might just reach 95%. And when the other one reaches 100%, they will shut off and say, I don't need any more. No current needs to run through me anymore. So they're gonna limit the current because they're not taking anymore. So this one, even though it's only at 95%, well, it's not getting the current to get up to 100%, so it just stays at 95%, whereas the other ones are at 100%. Okay, but then we switch to actually using the batteries. That means that when we're discharging the batteries, this one will discharge a lot faster than the other ones, and it will reach a shut-off point where, let's say the shut-off is 10%. So it's going to reach 10%, where the rest of them are probably at 15%, and then this one is going to say, oh, I can't do anymore. I'm not going to let any more current go out of me. And when this one shuts off, it's going to shut the other ones off as well. So even though there are still 5%-ish in the rest of them, well, we shut off early because this one weren't there. So now when we charge everything back up, this one is going to be starting from a lower point than the other ones. So if it was bad before, it's also going to be bad when it has charged up. And it only has to be ever so slightly less good than the other ones. And this thing will amplify over time, charging, discharging, charging, discharging. Every time this one is going to go a little bit more out of balance compared to the other ones. So next time it charges up, it might be only charges up to 94%, and the other ones are at 100%. When it discharges, this one will hit the floor when the other ones are still at 16 or 17%, and so on and so on. So that's where we need a active battery balancer. And what this thing does is that it takes all 4 batteries and it sees which battery has the most power. I'm gonna send that to the battery that has the least power. That's why it's active. So we connect it to 1 battery, 2 battery, 3 battery, and 4 battery, and well, all of the batteries are gonna be balanced. It just takes from one. We should call it a Robin Hood. So I want to try and connect this, and we'll do some power measurements, and we have the power supply so we can boost them a little bit and see what happens. So yeah, I thought that would be fun. At least I think it's fun. So to start with, we need to put some connectors on these. There, I have them here. I'm missing the black cap for one of them, so I'm gonna go and have an idea. I think it's in the winter garden, hiding somewhere. I did a video out there and didn't clean up probably, so now that I'm gonna do another video, I went out there and got it, so we have these as well. There's nothing wrong with these batteries, even though they are not sponsoring me for this video. I have nothing bad to say about these batteries, and they're very affordable. There. And the black one. There. And the red one. There. Okay, so let's the power supply back here was very nicely sponsored by my patrons, I believe. This desulfator was also sponsored by patrons. I have no idea if that's necessary or to say or not, but yeah, we are gonna measure the voltage on each of the batteries. So we're gonna turn on the multimeter, which I purchased myself when I was like 15. So this battery is at 13.15. This one is at 13.16. This one is probably a 3. No, it's at 9 volts, 82, and this one is at 9 volts 85. Okay, so they are not in sleep mode, they're just very low. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna connect the batteries. So we're gonna connect this battery. There. That's a what do you call it? A hum to it as well. So when we connect the next one, it should start humming. Okay. Each of the batteries are not connected to each other yet, so I don't believe anything bad can happen. But I should not disconnect. Yeah, I think I should not, what do you call it, short circuit these. So I have to kind of manage these cables so that they don't touch each other, just for safety reasons. I'm not sure if that's fine. So number 2 goes on this one. Okay, so now we are connecting the 2 good batteries. They are. I've put the multimeter on the first one, so let's see. Nothing happens there. When we connect the next one, it should start balancing to a very low battery. So I'm guessing that it might start humming at that point. Oh. Fucking hell. Battery terminals shorted out. Just as I tried not to make them do. So when we connect this one, it should start trying to charge this one up. Yep. You might be able to hear that capacitor charging, and the voltage on the multimeter went down. So now I can connect the last one, and when we do that, the voltage will probably go down further. So what's happening now is that the box is distributing the power between the batteries, and it should be able to do that with, I think, almost 10 amps. What it does is that it takes the power from the battery with the highest voltage, it charges a capacitor, and it dumps the power into one of the batteries with a lower voltage, and it does that over and over and over again. And it's kind of stupid inside, so it's probably just an operational amplifier. They usually have 2 input ports, and depending on which input port is high. Okay, the booster pump decided to come on as well. There was quite a lot of noise down here already, but I removed the multimeter from this battery. It was down to 12.99, and we're gonna put the multimeter on this battery out here. Can you see? The multimeter is over there. I don't know if you can put them. We're gonna put the multimeter on here, and it's on 11.77. So it is. It's charging up. It's very slow. Well, it came from 8 point something, so or was it 9? I think it was 9 something. But you can see the voltage is going up. So now that all of these batteries are connected, I can connect the power supply to one of them, which is just below, and you can see I've set that to 14.2 volts, which is an okay voltage. So we're gonna connect that to this one. That's just, it's one of the lower batteries, but it's also one of the batteries where these leads will reach. So we're gonna put that on, and it slams up. There. So right now it's being limited by the amount of power that I'm giving it, so we can, let's go up to 4 amps. Yeah, that's good enough. Actually very precise, but okay, and then it starts teasing me, right? So now I'm charging on one of the batteries, but that higher charge is gonna be distributed out to the other batteries. So even though I'm only charging that one, I'm pretty sure the voltage has gone up here. Okay, it hasn't actually gone up that much. It's only at 11.87. Okay, it's only at 11.89. So what about the first one over here where we started? That is now at 13 volts, and that was at 12.99. So now there is not as much of a drain on it, so the voltage has gone up a bit. So, and this one is also going up still. So I'm gonna leave this for a bit, and we'll get back to it in, well, 10-20 minutes and see where we're at. By the way, each of these batteries are rated at 640 watt hours. So when I'm pumping in 50 watts down here, that means that in an hour I can't even charge up one of these batteries. So there is no, I'm not putting too much into them at all. It's a little bit later. I've been watching YouTube videos for a little bit, so now we can see some voltages on the different batteries and see if we're getting anywhere near where we want to be. So this one out here is at 12.59. This one on which we are charging is at 12.99. And this one 13.06. And this one 13.07. So we are 470 millivolts, 480 millivolts, well, 470 millivolts apparently. So that part is good. So this battery balancer, or battery equalizer as it tells it's called, is very much like this one. This one I got from Germany. Patrons paid for this, but this one is just for 2 batteries instead of 4 batteries. I thought that I would be able to use this for 2 batteries of 24 volts, and I was not. It's only for, well, it says 24 volts plus there and 0 over there, but it's for 2 12 volt batteries, and I managed to get the back off of it, which apparently is coming off again, and the capacitors in here are only 25 volts. And with the 24 volt batteries, which is actually 25.6 volts, that's not enough. Plus the electronics that controls this, I have no idea if more is needed than this. My thought was that maybe I could just take the capacitors out and put some in that could handle maybe like 35 volts. Would have been an easy fix, but I haven't done that. I have ordered a new one for 24 volt batteries. It's coming in from China, and it's rare as a unicorn. Someone said that Victron has these. I have looked high and low, and I haven't been able to find any for 24 volt batteries, but yeah, I haven't looked at Victron. Usually they're so expensive. So the manual is here. I did also very shortly think about just trying it out anyway, and if it blew, it blew, but yeah, I haven't done so. I've coughed up the cash and I've purchased one that can do it. And the one that comes even has little displays on it, so it shows you the voltage on the different battery. So I'm looking very much forward to reviewing that. This one was not the best purchase. I was sitting there ready to do the video when I realized, wait a minute, this can only do 12 volt. But it would have been good for two of these batteries. It would have balanced those. Okay, it's quite a bit later, and the batteries has been, well, this one has been charging and the other one has been equalizing. So this one, which is only equalizing and was low, is now at 12.93 volts. This one, which is charging and sending out power, is at 13.2 volts. This one, which were one of the higher ones and is only equalizing, has gone up to 13.10. And this one out here, which was the highest, is at 13.11. So this one is coming up. This one is now the highest, and these are slowly coming up because now this one is the highest and it's distributing out the power to the other one. It takes a bit. Unfortunately, I don't have a clamp meter here. I would have loved to see how much power goes through these cables, but it's probably pulsing quite a bit. So yeah, we're now pushing in about 55 watts to the batteries, to this battery, which is then being distributed out. So yeah, it's working really well. So I actually never charged these batteries up fully, which the manual actually says that you should do. So I'm gonna turn the voltage up to 14.4 volts, which is about the maximum that you should do. There. And every one of these batteries should be balanced at that very high voltage. So, and they're cold. So as you can see here, the red LED at the bottom, CC, is constant current. That means that the current is being restricted by the power supply, and you can see that the amps are at 3.98 amps. That means that this one is getting 4 amps in, but it's distributing 1 amp to each of the other batteries. This one is probably getting the most, and these are getting only a tiny little bit at the moment. But at some point they're gonna get equal, all of them. Okay, it's a bit later. Let's see where we are at. This battery is at 13.12, 13.13, and where power is coming in is at 13.33, and the low one that has that is only balancing is at 12.95. So yeah, 55 watts coming in, and each of these batteries at 640 watt hours means that it will take 13-14 hours per battery to charge this up this way. So it will take a few days to balance this out this way because they were so low. If they were charged up to a higher level, it wouldn't take so long. These two weren't that bad, but the other two was definitely all the way down to nothing. So when I've done balancing this, I'm gonna be connecting it to the house setup, and I'm gonna keep the balancer on there because the active balancer, well, it keeps the batteries within a very little limit of voltage. But if they're all at the same voltage, it's not going to do anything. It's just going to be sitting there and analyzing and checking if everything is okay. And if the batteries goes up and down every day, well, even if it uses a little bit of power sitting there, it's going to be so little that it doesn't really matter. So yeah, I'm gonna end it here because it's gonna be a couple of days before this is done. So thank you very much for watching my videos. Do subscribe to my channel so that you can see me again, and have a really nice day. Bye bye.